Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad bin ROSDI from BA249 4A. Today I will present about Qawaid Fiqhiyah, Islamic Legal Magazine, Liabilities Accompanies Gain. Act are determined based on intention. This magazine is about claim and practice, where Muslims are required to demonstrate consistency in faith and practice, and in word and deeds. It embodies the relationship between intention and deed, claim and acts. It is about how legality and illegality is determined through intention and deed. For example, a man makes an earning either for the satisfaction of his selfish or personal consumption and demonstration, effect, or complying with the divine command to earn for the sake of survival and spending on noble causes. Hadith narrated by Umar radhiyallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Debts are judged by intention, and every person is judged according to his intention. If a person finds something on the street, took the object with the intention and returning it to the owner, his conduct is in order and he is considered as the keeper of the item. But if he intends to keep the item as his own, he is considered to be a person wrongfully appropriating property. The physical act is identical in both cases, but the judgment there should be kill. There should be differ according to the intention. If a person kill another person intentionally, then they should be killed. Unintentionally, the punishment of the paying of blood money is applied. Custom is a basis of judgment. Custom refer to the practice of people whether in their doing or in their sayings, regardless of whether it is the general practices of the people or the practice of the certain group of people. This practice has the authority and can specify a general matter or restrict an unrestricted matter. The courts are authorized accordingly to rule on matter based on customary practices. These customary rules may be allowable provided that they are not in conflict with the Sharia, current and used predominantly by people. For example, in a certain town, it may be customary for the seller to include a local gift to the buyer as a way of thanking the buyer for his or her custom. For example, if a contract does not specify whether the deliverer of the goods is the responsibility of the purchaser or the retailer, in this case, the prevailing custom should be dependent upon transaction to specify and clarify this matter, which is not cited in the contract. The custom that involves transaction is the sale of offering and accepting, which is normally conclude without the utterance of offer and acceptance. First, a thing made impossible by custom is as thought it were it the truth impossible. Second, it cannot be denied that with a charge of time, the requirement of law change. Next, in the presence of custom, no regard is paid to the literal meaning of a matter. And lastly, effect is only given to custom where it is of regular occurrence or when it is universally prevalent. Introduction of Al-Ghum bi Al-Ghum. The financial landscape has changed as a result of the advent of Islamic financial institutions. They offer a large selection of financial products and services that are in compliance with Sharia. This suggests that in order to provide financial service, the underlying contract, which include policies, how financially services are used, and legal documents must follow the standard and present of Sharia. This is done in order to link the capacity of Islamic financial contract to support Maqasid Sharia, the main goal of the Islamic financial system, and the requirement for conducting Islamic financial operation. It is critical to understand the origin and significance of risk before introducing generic names for it or other potential sources of risk in Islamic banking. Few academics have examined the epistemology and underlying principle of risk in relation to language, logic, and social science. Despite its current popularity, risk was once considered to be a neutral concept. The definition of risk states that it refers to both the likelihood of an event happening and any ensuing losses or gains. Today, risk is more frequently linked to negative outcome. Al-ghum bi al-ghum simply translate as no pain, no gain, or in more economic term, no risk, no return. It it is one of the right Sharia procedure in Islamic finance. Ghum is the discovery, but ghum is the reward, as we interpret ghanimah to mean battle spoils. There are no free meals according to economists, even though they appear to be free to the untrained eye. Things cost money. The al-ghum bi al-ghum premise is therefore also true. There won't be any free discoveries or reward. Therefore, instill in us the principle of perseverance and faith, unaware of what was ahead, making no effort and trusting only on Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This concept implies that even within the framework and perspective of Islam, there is a danger in the enterprise action. Investing entails a degree of risk. The presence of risk or this danger is required. As a result, there are potential side hazards that may be addressed to reduce the risk to both parties involved. Definition of al-ghum bi al-ghum. Al-ghum stands for risk-taking or liability for loss or damage. In its first meaning, al-ghum refers to accepting responsibility or for a loss, which serves as a basis for a claim to gain or profit. Al-ghum can also refer to a debtor liability for any loss or damage caused by any circumstance other than the debtor's dishonesty or fraud. Al-ghum, which roughly translates as a return come with incurring the risk involved, refers to making money or receive a benefit. For instance, risk sharing by all partners is the standard and guiding idea in musyarakah ventures. This means that whoever stands to gain or is anticipate to gain from a commercial venture successful conclusion must also be prepared to shoulder any costs or losses associated with that al-ghum. Next, al-ghum literally translates as responsibility for losses or damage. Al-ghum, when translated into another language, meaning to gain something advantage or profit. Al-ghum bi al-ghum then refers to lawful profit solely bearing with obligation for losers in Islamic law. To make money, the depositor or investor must share obligation. Islam make it absolutely forbidden to distribute or eliminate the element of ghum for personal gain. Guaranteeing a profit while avoiding responsible for losses is not allowed. The maxim general meaning is that while he is entitled to any benefit flowing from it, the owner of an asset must face all risks and expenses associated with possession of the item. Non-owners are entitled to any ownership benefit or the opportunity to partake in the associated risks and expenses. Since liability is an obligation that goes along with gain, anyone who gains from anything must also pay for any damage or loss that result from it. Accordingly, the majalah states if jointly owned property require repairs, the joint owner shall jointly make such repair in accordance to their shares. One joint owner cannot enjoy the benefit without also sharing the liability proportionate to his share. That's all from me. I will pass to Afiq. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afiq, and today I would like to continue presenting our topic. I will share about what is risk sharing. Risk sharing refers to an agreement between contractual parties to share the risk related to work, wealth, and assets that are tied to legitimate economic activity in order to support the right to profit. Riba, ghoror, and maisir, which are restrictive aspects, will result from a lack of sharing. Evidence from Al-Quran is from Surah Al-Baqarah verse 275, which means those who consume interest cannot stand on the day of destruction, except as one stand who is being beaten by Satan into insanity. That is because they say trade is just like interest. But Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden interest, so whoever has received an admonition from his Lord and disease may have what is past, and his affair rests with Allah. But whoever returns to dealing in interest or usury, those are the companies of the fire. They will abide internally therein. From Hadith, Aisyah narrated that Prophet Muhammad said, benefit goes with liability. Profit is not lawful from that for which one has no liability. Al-Tirmizi. Application in fiqh. In fiqh, there are some applications that we can apply in fiqh. Firstly is the borrower being the one who benefited from the item. All costs involved with returning it should be met by him. In addition, the fee for transferring a title is payment by the buyer and serve as confirmation that they are the new owners of the asset. As a result, the transaction benefits the buyer the most. The apartment's upkeep costs are viewed as a benefit to the landlord. As a result, the expenses should be paid by the owner. For instance, if a person purchases a computer on credit and then declares bankruptcy, the seller has right to recover the computer but not any intellectual property the buyer generated while the computer was in his possession, as the buyer was accountable for the computer during that time. Because he would have been responsible for the cost of the car's repair if it had been damaged while in his possessions, the buyer is not compelled to pay a rental fee if he returns an automobile to the seller after a week due to fault. One of the risks argument of musyarakah financing is the lack of an absolute return, as in the interest system, but rather a profit sharing system depending on the actual productivity of the funds and firm managed. The profit sharing ratio was decided upon upfront, but it wasn't until the fund turned a profit that the actual worth of his profit sharing became clear. The sole absolute in this method is the ratio of for the result, not the profit. As a result, there is a possibility that the actual profit sharing will change depend on how well the company does. Therefore, utilizing the interest rate for a loan is an unlawful act of speculation, gharar. Traditional banks are averse to taking on risk in exchange for a granted reward, algum bin algum. Traditional banks force business outcomes, but they won't bear the cost, bil al-kharaj. This concept, especially the algum bil algum principle, from the basis of financial theory. In conclusion, algum bil algum, which translated no pain no gain or no risk no return, is significantly Islamic banking. In Islamic banking, algum bil algum is where we collaborated, because gum is the discovery but gum is the prize, and ghanimah refers to better spoils. This notion exists to demonstrate that everyone's activities have repercussion, and that there is no way to avoid danger. In Islamic finance, danger is always there. Algum bil algum refers to risk sharing, in which parties mutually agree to shoulder the risk of their associate asset, wealth or effort, all of which are linked to genuine economic activities. As a result, the lack of danger will result in components like riba, gharar and maisir. I think that's all from me. Thank you.